I bet you've got a course inside you right now that is just dying to get out, but for whatever reason, it's stuck inside and not getting out to the world. That is both a shame, but also a little bit selfish because that means that you're not getting all of that information out to the people who could be really benefiting from it. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why you should create your course, apart from that one reason that I've just given, but also some things to consider in terms of the type and format of course you're going to create and how to go about creating that. Now, this video has come about because in the past couple of weeks, I've just had a really unusually high number of consultations with people specifically about creating courses. So I do tech consultations on all things tech, but the course thing is something that has really been a focus, it seems, of late. And I've helped a number of people get up and running with their courses and get themselves online. And so I just wanted to share some of these sort of thoughts, processes that we've been going through with you. Just a quick shout out and hello to everyone in the chat. Hey, Rich, they're in twice. Parker, great to see you here. Marcus, great to see you as well. Welcome to this stream. I don't think I've seen you in the live stream before. And then also Mr. Moderator, keeping everyone in check. Great to see you here as well. So I thought I'd start with exactly why should you create a course? And I've got 3 courses related to Take One Tech at the moment. I've also got other courses that are related to other businesses, and I've got certainly a lot more in the pipeline. And the obvious main reason is it is a way to monetize your content. And that doesn't necessarily mean putting everything absolutely behind a paywall. Obviously, on YouTube, we're creating all of this content. And the beauty of YouTube is that it is all, free for people to consume. And it's a great way to get out to those people. So why then consider having a course when you've already got a YouTube channel that's creating content? Well, actually, the reason why I first created my Ecamm Live Masterclass, which is everything from beginner through to advanced of Ecamm Live, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the reason why I created that course was that I did have over 100 videos on my YouTube channel all about Ecamm Live and covering all different aspects of it. And technically, you could just go to my YouTube channel and become an expert in Ecamm because I cover all of the different things, all the different aspects of Ecamm just purely on this channel. The only issue is that often the videos go out of date because the developers with Ecamm in particular are working so fast to create new features and adding in new functionality that then some of those older videos are maybe not completely out of date, but partially inaccurate because like in the earlier days of Ecamm, if you wanted to create sort of pretty borders and things like that around your camera overlays in Ecamm or your screen in Ecamm, you would have to create some sort of graphical overlay with a little sort of cutout, transparent cutout that you would put over the top of the screen in Ecamm to give you that border. Whereas in a later version of Ecamm, they released this option to put actual borders around. So, for example, if I come over to something like this scene built up where we've got my camera in this window, we've got a little graphic down below, I'm sharing my website over here, so that kind of thing before we would have had to have done with, as I say, this sort of image overlay with these little cutouts. Well, in a later version of Ecamm now we can just add the borders directly onto those overlays. So that's just an example of one thing that now is done very different to the way it was done before. And yet I still have on my YouTube channel a 4.5-hour video, which is the complete guide to getting up and running with Ecamm. So do I take that video down because it's still got loads of valuable information in it, but that one particular section where I talk about making overlays with cutouts, that is now just unnecessary. So one of the benefits of having a course then is the fact that you can be very intentional about exactly what is in there, and it can be a lot more sort of curated. And the way that you can build the course out, which I'll talk about a little bit later, is quite different to the way that you would create a YouTube video. So I know that most people don't really make 4.5-hour YouTube tutorials anyway, but even those 20 and 30-minute tutorials, there's often lots of pieces in there that may change as you go along. And so it gives you the flexibility to be very careful about how you are sort of guiding people through the process. And that leads into the other part of having a course as well. Yes, indeed, all the information is on my YouTube channel for Ecamm. How do you know if you've covered it all? If you're just going in and watching little bite-sized videos, how do you know if you've actually covered off all of the things that you need to know in order to really use the tool or whatever it happens to be that you are learning? Whereas in a course, obviously, you are in full control of the exact process that you guide people through. Now, yes, I know you can sort of do that in YouTube as well with playlists, can't you? So, for example, I've got a Stream Deck playlist on my channel, and it starts with the beginner's guide to Stream Deck 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So it does take people on that journey. However, I'm not in control of where people actually enter that playlist. So they may have just come across it on YouTube from a search or it being recommended, and they may come in sort of midway through and then just continue on the path from there. And so once again, I've not been in that sort of control of guiding somebody on a very specific trajectory from a beginner through to expert. So that is another real benefit of the course, is having that ability to really sort of shape the experience for people and shape the sort of learning path that you're going to take people on as well, to make sure that at every step of the way, they've got all the information that they need to move on to the next step. Another reason for a course, though, is once again, coming back to this whole thing of having some stuff behind a paywall, whereas you've also got stuff on your channel. Like I say, most of the stuff that is in my courses, you will be able to find it somewhere or other on my my YouTube channel. Not necessarily everything, but a lot of it. But what people pay for when they pay for a course is they're paying for that organization. So I think it was Stephanie Liu once interviewed on Doc Show, and she said, I think, that information is free, but people pay for organization. And that is so true. And I mean, I only need to think about myself for that. Yes, I can go and find lots of information in lots of different places, but if I really want to focus in and learn something, then I'm just going to go and get a course to just take me through that process. So don't feel that if you have got a YouTube channel, people are going to think that, oh, you're suddenly putting everything behind a paywall, because as long as you're still doing what you're always doing and creating the regular content as well, which I've got to say, just recently, I haven't been doing on this channel because I've been a bit focused on my podcast, but I'll be getting back to the regular content here. But with that aside, the two things can go hand in hand. And ideally, what you'd want to do is have it so that the content that you are putting on your regular YouTube channel is almost, an advert for the courses as well. So, for example, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I did a live stream which was specifically about how to set up the compressor on the Rodecaster, and that was a way to sort of demonstrate what you're going to get in the course as well. So then I've got obviously the full Rodecaster Pro 2 Masterclass, which is more of the same. So they can work hand in hand, I think, when you've got the sort of publicly available free information and how that can feed into the course. Another interesting point about courses as well is it does actually give you the opportunity to reach a wider audience as well, because if you set up an affiliate program, and I'll be talking about how to do that a little bit later, it does mean that you can actually sort of expand your reach beyond your own sort of following, if you like, or your own subscriber base on YouTube or whatever platform you're on, and actually have other people spreading the word out to their user bases and their subscriber bases. And so then you're sort of expanding your reach in that respect. And with, I'm going to be talking about Kajabi a bit later. That's the platform that I use. I absolutely love it. With that, it's very easy to set up an affiliate program so that, as I say, you can have people shouting you out all over the place and bringing in new students into your courses that way. So I want to talk a little bit then about, I hope that you can see the benefit of courses, but the different approaches to creating a course. And what I've found with the people that I've been sort of consulting with recently about this is that there are a number of things that tend to sort of hold people back. So there are certain people that have done, and I know that there is people still in my circle that are sitting on a course that they really should just be getting out there. So what is it that holds people back? And I think that there's a number of different things for that. So first of all, before we even get to the point of they have the course ready and they're just being held back from doing it, there is also this feeling of maybe you don't have the knowledge. Maybe there is somebody else has already made the course, and so you feel like, well, there's no point me doing it because this person over here has already done the course. Well, that kind of thing is exactly the same limitations and limiting belief that people have when they talk about starting their YouTube channel. If I thought that I wasn't going to start a tech YouTube channel because there was one or two other tech YouTube channels, and there is no shortage of tech tutorial YouTube channels, then I just wouldn't be doing this now, would I? So to think that somebody else has done it, so therefore you shouldn't do it, is really no obstacle at all, because there will be people, just as people come and watch my channel that don't watch others. And I know that there are some people who switch on my video and see me for the first time and think, not interested. And I can tell that by my analytics that in the first 20 seconds, people just drop off because they think, I don't like this guy. So that's cool. As long as you've got your subject that you're interested in and that you can share. Don't worry if somebody else is already doing it, because you've got your own spin on it. You've got your own teaching style, and people will take that if they're interested in hearing what you've got to say on that subject. The other thing is feeling that maybe you don't have a big enough audience. If you've got maybe a low subscriber number on YouTube, and so you're thinking, well, what's the point in creating a course? I don't really have the reach yet. What I will say is that you don't need to have millions of subscribers, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of subscribers to actually make a course. I mean, my Ecamm Masterclass came out when I was sub 1,000, I think. It's actually just over 1,000. But the point was, I wasn't really monetized. I was technically monetized on YouTube, but you don't make huge numbers from the ad revenue from YouTube in any case. However, if you've got a course that you're promoting and selling for whatever it happens to be, $50, $100, $1,000, wherever it is on the spectrum, you really don't need many of those course sales to cover a significant number of costs. First of all, for the things that you're doing in terms of the platform. I'll talk about costs there a little bit later. But yeah, you really don't need many of these coming in to start to make a significant difference to your revenue as a content creator. And I think that if you are, doing this as more than just a hobby, then we certainly should be thinking about this from a business perspective from the very outset. And so there's no harm there in having a course that is sort of there and ready that you can be making some sales from, even if you feel that you don't have that audience. But again, you only need one or two people to do it, and then them to recommend people. So make sure you're promoting your affiliate program within the course itself. And if you've done a good job of helping people in the course, then they will be referring people as well to you. So that will also help it to grow. And once again, that will feed back into your overall, subscriber base on YouTube. There are people who've come into my courses that weren't actually following me on YouTube, but now it's worked the other way as well. So there is that. Also, if you are somebody who's creating an education-based YouTube channel where you're talking about something that is helping people out, and you can sort of translate that over into the course, and then also there is a potential then to be offering consultation services. And actually the courses are a great lead-in to you offering further consultations. So I do have consultation services available, so I should probably just mention those. I'll leave a link in the description to those, and you can find that in the chat as well. But I do probably around about, I don't know, between 4 and 12, depending on the week, 4 and 12 consultations a week with people that are all things, tech related. Now, some of those people are coming through having seen the links in my description or, watching a video like this. But actually a lot of them come through having done the course. So the first step for them is they do the course, they see my more sort of one-to-one style teaching, because it's what I'm doing on this YouTube channel as well, but the course is slightly different in terms of the sort of approach to it. And then oftentimes what will happen is they've gone through the course, they've learnt everything they need to know, but then now they want to just understand, like, right, okay, how do I apply this specifically to my business? Or they've got some questions about, how to actually, implement the tools that I'm talking about with their specific business. So actually it is another sort of avenue into you doing your, consultations with people or helping people out from that point of view. And I've sort of digressed back to reasons why to do it. But it was all stemming from this whole thing of feeling that you don't have an audience. You don't need to have a massive audience to actually have an impact and help people out. And once again, from a sort of return on cost, return on time invested, I would say that, keeping on making the YouTube videos is great, and certainly do that. But as well, if you can, carve out some time to create this course, and we'll talk about how much time you actually need to do that, then that can actually be a much greater revenue earner from an early time on, before you've got a huge following. So another thing that I find people say, as well as not having the audience or maybe feeling like they don't have the knowledge, if you're if you're doing anything in life, you've certainly got some knowledge that you can share. There's always something that you can talk about that you've got a different spin on, or that you've had some experience that other people haven't had. I think a lot of the time people just don't actually understand. How can I say this? People don't realize actually all of the skills that they do have, and they don't realize what it is that makes them special necessarily. And that is a whole nother live stream, I guess, as to finding your thing. In fact, I should just refer you to Doc Rock to talk about finding your purpose and ikigai and all of that kind of stuff. But so aside from that, though, it then comes on to the technical aspects of it, and people may be feeling that the platform that they're using is hard. So Kajabi is what I'm using. I'll be talking about the sort of technicalities of that a little bit later. But yeah, a couple of people I've spoken to have been sitting on doing this, and then they've actually got around to doing it, and then they just can't believe, like, oh, that was actually so easy. So this whole thing of, as with anything new, I've been like that myself with certain tools where there's been a bit of a friction involved in getting up and running with it. And so it's just a case of sort of taking that plunge and understanding that, yeah, it's very manageable if it's just sort of broken down into small steps. So certainly don't be put off from the platform side of things as to, oh, I've got to learn a new tool or something like that, because I can assure you it will pay off just by spending a little bit of time up front to invest in that, invest the time in learning the tool. And the other one then is coming back to Kajabi, because that's the platform that I use. That's what I recommend to people. That's what anybody who asks me about it, that's what I'll tell them. And most people have checked out Kajabi that are at this stage. And the one thing that I always hear is, oh, Kajabi is expensive. And I can tell you it is not expensive. It might be costly, but it's not expensive. And there is a difference there. So for example, the monthly plan that I'm on Kajabi is $200 a month, thereabouts, 197 what it is. Let's round it up because we're between friends. It's around about $200 a month. But actually, looking at what you get for that, it is incredible value to me, because I've been doing this for years before Kajabi and using other platforms. And the platforms that I would use typically before were, I'd either use WordPress or Squarespace for a standalone website. I would then use ClickFunnels for my sales funnels. And so, doing this on a sort of professional basis for myself and other people, ClickFunnels was the platform that I always used. It is a dedicated sales funnel platform. So for creating, multiple sales funnels for your products. That was $300 a month, $297, $300 a month for just the ClickFunnels side of things, if you want all of the integration and want to be able to add the affiliate program. So there is a lower level of ClickFunnels, but to have affiliates, you needed that higher level of $297 a month. Then there is the aspect of hosting your videos. Well, for that, I was always using Wistia, which is a video hosting platform that basically doesn't make it quite as easy for people to go and just download your video. So a lot of people will create a course where they upload the videos to YouTube as a unlisted video, and then they sort of embed those in the course pages, wherever that happens to be it in ClickFunnels or elsewhere. The issue with that is it's very easy, actually, because YouTube always just has their little logo embedded. It's very easy for someone to just go to the unlisted video. Then technically they could just share that link with anybody. So then all of your nice course content that was in your little ecosystem, people can easily actually just share it out. Now, you're never going to stop people downloading videos. There is always tools to do that, but just for ease of use, then YouTube makes it a bit too easy for people to get to the videos. So what a lot of course creators do is they use this service called Wistia. What it does is it prevents people from just easily clicking a link to go and download the video or get the video elsewhere. It also allows you to sort of brand the video player experience, so you can make it have the the play button in your colors and so on, and it just looks a lot more sort of I would say plain, in a sense of there's no branding on it, only your sort of logo and look and aesthetic on it. Now, Wistia is $100 a month, but then for every video you have on the platform over and above the first 10, you've got to pay another, I think it's 25 cents a month, something like that. Well, I'll be talking later about, like, when you build out the courses, you ideally want to make these in lots of really small, short, bite-sized videos. And so what that means is on Wistia, you end up having, a ton of videos. And so that $100 a month, when you start having, 25 cents a video, and you've got, another 100 videos, 200 videos, you've got multiple courses, you're quickly racking up a lot of monthly expenses there on just Wistia on the video hosting side. So there we've already got, $300 on ClickFunnels, we've got another 200 at least on Wistia if you're building out reasonable sized courses. Then there is, the actual main website. You can technically build those on ClickFunnels as well, but it's not really a great experience. So usually the ClickFunnels side of things I would have always used for just the sales funnels. Then a main website, as I say, on another platform like Squarespace or WordPress. So there again is another expense. Often you're wanting to build out email campaigns and things like that. Maybe you're using something like ActiveCampaign or some other platform, MailChimp or whatever it is. And so there's another expense. And before you know it, you've really got quite a lot of different things going on. And often as well, I would use, just to add in another monthly expense, which has been reduced, would be something like Zapier, which is automation, to actually link all of these separate platforms together. Well, with Kajabi, you're basically just paying one price because it's an absolutely excellent platform to just create your website in. So I've been using Squarespace for, I can't remember how long now, 15 years, whatever it is. Kajabi is, I won't say exactly as user-friendly as Squarespace. Like I say, probably because I don't really use Squarespace that much. I just set it up and it's just been working flawlessly for me for years. But Kajabi is certainly very easy to build websites in. But actually, the thing that has surprised me about Kajabi, as well as being an excellent platform for hosting your courses, which is obviously what it's designed to do, I've been really surprised at just how good it is at building sales funnels. And considering ClickFunnels is a dedicated, sales funnel, website funnel building platform, I actually find that Kajabi is a lot easier to use from that point of view to build out the funnels. I'm really quite surprised at that. And I always liken it to when I switched from PC to Mac, and then I just sort of wondered why I'd been sort of struggling with Mac for so many years, or at least not doing things in the most efficient way. And that's a bit like ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is not as efficient at actually building these things out as Kajabi. The other thing that Kajabi is really good is if you have not got any experience at building sales funnels, then Kajabi has a load of templates, but rather than just being templates where you drag and drop your information, it actually tells you specifically what information you should be putting in there and why. So if you've got like a product launch, for example, you would have maybe like a 10 email sequence that's running all the way up to the launch, and it's going to tell you what to put in these emails. And it's going to actually help you to not be doing some of the really annoying tactics that people do often with sales funnels that give sales funnels a bad name. A sales funnel is just one single route that takes you, from finding out about a product into that particular product, what it is. And you might have, multiple layers of products. You might have just one product, but you could have, 100 different sales funnels. That is just the method that people use to get into that particular thing. But what a lot of people do, though, is they really go to town on the whole email thing. And you end up getting, bombarded with mail after mail that's telling you exactly the same thing. 1 day to launch, 2 days to launch, 3 days to launch, all that kind of stuff. But it's just basically shouting the same thing at you. And it really just feel like you're just being almost shouted at. And I know I've subscribed to a number of people because of their sort of aggressive email tactics. What Kajabi is good at is, you've got a 10 email run-up sequence to a particular product launch, for example. But as you'll see, is if you set up one of these funnels, it's going to tell you what to put in each of the 10 emails. And it is not just a case of, 10 days to go, 7 days to go, 5 days to go, and all that kind of stuff. It's actually talking about the value that you should give at every step. And so it will create a page where you can put a video, which is some specific value related to the product that you're going to launch. And then there is the associated email, and it tells you to make sure, you're giving value, explains why to do that. Another email might be testimonials or success stories. And again, it tells you how to frame this. So it really is, it sort of guides you through the process, I think, of actually creating sales funnels, which is something that ClickFunnels certainly does not do quite as good a job of that. So if you are new to the whole idea of selling and sales funnels, then I think that Kajabi can do a lot of sort of hand holding for you in that respect. It's a bit like having TubeBuddy on YouTube, where it gives you the little checklist and tells you what to do. So Kajabi sort of does the same kind of thing in creating your sales funnels. That was one of the other things, is just this whole thing about it being expensive. So I really believe that Kajabi is tremendous value for what you're getting for that price. The other thing I'll say about the expense of it is you've got to sort of balance this with what this tool is going to actually allow you to do in terms of the revenue it's going to allow you to generate. So we all spend money on lots of different, tools and subscriptions and things like that. But very few of them have the power to give you this sort of immediate revenue that you can get from Kajabi. So you might be paying for Canva, you might be paying for TubeBuddy, one that I've just mentioned. You might be paying for all of these different things that are just serving, your YouTube channel. How much money are you making from your YouTube channel, and how long is it going to take to get up to that? I can tell you that at, what am I at, 3,500-ish subscribers? I don't know the exact number, but my average revenue from YouTube, the YouTube Partner Program, is around about $250, $300 a month. So there's a lot of work that goes in to get that sort of revenue from YouTube. And you've got all of these different things that you're paying for. So like I say, TubeBuddy, I'm paying for Ecamm to make the videos. I'm paying for various other different subscriptions. So Kajabi, yes, whilst it is expensive, that can generate far more revenue than you can get from the YouTube Partner Program. So you've got to balance what it costs with what you can get back from it. The other thing I'll say is that Kajabi does have a free trial, and I'm going to drop my link into the description for Kajabi. You can get a 30-day free trial by going there. And what I found is there's somebody that I've just been chatting with relatively recently who launched their course in a couple of days, and they actually made back more than the money of the a year's subscription to Kajabi in the first couple of days, before they'd even ended their free trial. So it is actually possible to launch your course within that 30 days and, at least make back certainly the money for the first month. If you've got a course that's, say you got a course that's $100 and you sell 2 of them, you've already covered your first month before your trial it's ended. So you don't need to have massive numbers to do that. But that was the same case with me as well when I started my my Ecamm Masterclass. It was Carly from Chocolate Twist Yoga sort of eventually twisted my arm and got me onto Kajabi. And then I'm eternally grateful to her. So used her affiliate link, got my course all set up and running, launched it. And then, it paid for a year before I'd even paid anything out. So there really is, a huge opportunity with Kajabi to do that. Incidentally, what you'll also find on that page is what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Kajabi Masterclass, but it's going to be a cohort-based course, and I'll talk about the difference between those sort of courses. But what I'm going to do is for anybody who uses my affiliate link, because you do get a sort of recurring commission from those affiliate links as well, I'm going to offer the course for free. So anybody who basically signs up to Kajabi using my link will get free access to the Kajabi Masterclass, because it really is only a few steps away to be able to create a really meaningful course that can help a lot of people and make you money. And I want to help you to make money on Kajabi. And because of Kajabi's excellent affiliate program, I can certainly afford to waive my fee for the course if you've signed up using my affiliate link. So if you're interested in that Kajabi Masterclass, whether or not you're on Kajabi or not right now, you don't need to go and sign up for the Kajabi. But if you're interested in that idea of having a free masterclass where we'll get you on the free trial of Kajabi, come on the course, we'll get everything you need to get set up and running, then you can head over to that link that I've just dropped in the description as well and in the chat. Just enter your details there. And then as soon as I've got dates for that, because I'll be doing that, as I say, as a cohort course, then I will let you know about that. And the idea behind this one is, whilst all of my other masterclasses are sort of online, sort of learn at your own pace, this one is going to be a cohort course, because what I want to be able to do is, as well as giving you the information, I want to be able to sort of talk you through the process and be there on hand to help out with, really getting yourself up and running. So the idea behind that is, get the free trial, and then we'll sort of go through the process and have you up and running before making money, before it actually starts costing you any money. And that means that's the free course and the free trial all go sort of hand in hand there as well. So that is the Kajabi Masterclass. And that sort of brings me back to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is what are the different types of courses you've got? Because this is one of the other things that sort of holds people back sometimes. They think, I don't know if I've got enough time to do it, or there's a lot of work involved in it. You've got to do the upfront work in order to launch something. And that can be true. I mean, if I just come back to my Rodecaster Masterclass, for example, this isn't meant to be just a plug for all my courses, but if I come back to my Rodecaster Masterclass, this one is a sort of learn at your own pace online video course. So yeah, here there was, a considerable amount of work has gone into it, because here I've got, over 100 videos that are covering all the different aspects. And so this is involved, going in and creating all of these videos. So from basics of audio processing, foundations of dynamic audio processing, all of that kind of stuff. And then in each of these different sort of modules, we've got a series of different videos, and these are all just sort of pre-recorded videos. So this has involved, that upfront work in order to create it. But you don't have to create a course that's got, 100 videos or more in it. You can just create, small little micro courses, if you like, just some specific thing on a specific topic that is just a lot more focused. So, for example, whereas I've got here, introduction to compressors, for example, maybe I could create a course that is just purely on one specific aspect of the Rodecaster, like things like here we've got, this sort of advanced audio. I could have just made just that little individual piece. So you can start with a much smaller course and build it up over time. But this is basically a sort of learn on demand course that I'm talking about here. The other type of course then is the one that I'm talking about for the Kajabi Masterclass, which will be a cohort-based course. And that is where you have a group of people that are going to come together, and you're actually doing sort of more sort of not really one-to-one, but you're actually in person somehow on a Zoom call or whatever it is, actually teaching the content that you've got. Now, this will usually be accompanied by, maybe some video content as well. So you can do a sort of a mixture of both of them. So maybe there is a series of videos that you go through, and then you start implementing that, and then you have the live part of the course, which is where you have sort of Q&A or help people out with the implementing it. You could also do one where you don't have any pre-recorded content, where it's literally people are just coming along to the sessions, and everything is taught in that. So you can find a sort of balance with that. Now, with the Kajabi course, what I'll be doing is it will be sort of what that hybrid. So there'll be a series of steps that you have to do as on day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on. And then the videos, the calls that we have will be more about the sort of actually implementing it and how you go about doing that. So that is the difference between sort of recorded and cohort. What you've got to think about then in terms of which one to do is they both do have sort of pros and cons. Firstly, obviously, the pre-recorded content, once you've done it, it's just there. And I've got to say, it is nice to just sort of wake up every morning and then just see, there's people have bought this course, that course, or the other. And so now that all of the work has gone into creating it, then, you've got this sort of recurring revenue that's just popping into your account every so often when people are buying these things. The thing about the cohort course, though, obviously, is that you are then committing to it is taking your time. It's also at a specific time, and you get people in, you're selling for that particular course at that particular time. And then after that, it's done. And you've got to then presumably start selling again for the next cohort. So it does take your time, and it's there's work involved in each time. But obviously, if you're doing the, repeating the course, then you've done the work of the sort of preparation for it, I guess. So it's just something to bear in mind. From the student's point of view, though, there is also pros and cons to both of these. If it's a cohort course, then you've got to be available for the sessions, and that doesn't always necessarily work out for people. And I mean, for me, when I made my Ecamm Masterclass, there's already an amazing tutor that we've got in the Ecamm community, Adrian Salisbury, who does the Ecamm Live Academy. And that is a cohort-based course where you can go in and just be in a group and learning all about how to use Ecamm Live. So there's already that great resource there. What I did with mine to do something different to that was I made my Ecamm Live course all purely online. And I did that specifically because I know that there are people who wouldn't necessarily be able to make the dates of the Ecamm Live Academy. There are people who don't necessarily want to learn in that way. They just want to have it all on demand and learn what they want. And so that's why specifically for the Ecamm course, I made mine as just purely sort of online. And that is a thing, people might not be available for your course at the dates that you are doing it. The other thing that I find is when I go in and look in at the analytics of my courses, I find that people may have bought the entire course, but they may actually really only want to just focus in on one part. And so if you've got something that is, taking somebody from absolute beginner to, expert in something as a cohort, there may be loads of people that are put off that because they feel like, well, do you know what? I'm not really a beginner. I know more than the most people, or I know what I'm doing with it. I just want some help with some specific areas. That's another area where a pre-recorded course can be really good, because I see people all the time in my courses who buy the course, they skip all of the beginner and intermediate levels and just go straight onto the advanced level stuff because that's the part that they want to know. And likely those people would not have gone on a cohort course because they would feel, well, I don't want to go through all the beginner stage stuff again because I already know that. If I can get my words out. The other benefit, though, to a cohort course for people is a lot of people like to learn in that environment where they have got people that they're learning with. They're going on a journey with people. They've got people to support them. They don't feel like they're doing it alone. So that is a sort of another pro side to the cohort side of things. So there's definitely, pros and cons to both of these, and whichever one is going to work for you is going to depend on the style of course you're doing. And for me, I was talking about the Kajabi Masterclass. That is certainly one where I feel like, you know what, I think people are going to need that hand-holding, or want that hand-holding, and want to be sort of talked through the process. And especially if they're, getting all of this for free in terms of the free trial, and I'm going to give the masterclass for free for those that use my link, then we're going to be on a ticking clock, really, aren't we? Because it's a case of sign up for the free trial, and then before the trial ends, that is the time that I want to, actually get the get you making money essentially on Kajabi. So that is a few things to think about in terms of the type of course. The other thing that people often then struggle with is the pricing and how to think about pricing. Now, I can't really say, to be honest, how much you should charge for your course, because it totally does depend on what you've got in it. I will say a little thing on naming of courses, though, which is if you're going to call something a masterclass, you do need to be very conscious of what that means and what that entails, because I do see people who use the word masterclass when really it's more of a beginner's guide or something like that. If you're going to call something a masterclass, I do believe that it should take somebody from absolute beginner, knowing absolutely nothing about it, all the way through to being an expert in that topic and covering absolutely everything. So certainly you need to be conscious of that and just think about how you're naming your course. When it comes to pricing, though, like I say, I can't really say specifically for your thing. It's not necessarily based on the number of videos either. I mean, my Ecamm Masterclass has got over 130. The Rodecaster's 109 or something like that. So yeah, it's not about the number of videos, though. It's about the information and the value that you are providing. So don't feel that, I've got to now create a 100 video course. It could literally just be 10 videos or 20 videos or whatever it is, as long as you know the value that you're delivering, and also the value that it is to the person who's watching. What is this going to mean to them, and what can they do with it? And so I have varying different pricing on my courses on Take One Tech and other things, because it just sort of depend on that a little bit. Another thing to consider is the difference between a one-time payment and a subscription model. So there are two different ways to think about this. Now, up until now, all of my courses have been a sort of one-time payment, and then it's lifetime access. And then I sort of update the courses as and when new things are coming out. So I do think it's an interesting one to sort of balance there between that sort of one-time payment versus the subscription model. Now, with the subscriptions, I am going to start to do subscription models on my courses, because the other side of having a one-off payment that people find, they just want to pay once, they know they've got the information, and then they've got it forever, and it does come with those updates. Then that's really helpful for some people. That's what they want. But then on the other hand, that does make it a little bit limiting for, in terms of who can actually afford it. So for example, my Zoom masterclass is full price is $497. The Rodecaster masterclass is $187. The Ecamm Masterclass is at $147, and although sometimes I do have different offers on them, that is the sort of regular price of them. And so that can be limiting for people, and especially if they do want to learn about Zoom and they want to learn about the Rodecaster and whatever, quickly it can add up, and not just my courses but other courses as well. And so one of the reasons why I'm going to be implementing a subscription model is because it means then that people can actually just get what they need and get out if they want. I don't mind if someone subscribes for a month, binges the courses, and then leaves. But what I'm actually looking to do is make sure that people stay in the subscription model because of continuing to give that value. So I am looking to be, adding new courses. I've got 3 up there at the moment. The list is growing, actually. I've got another 12 now that are sort of on the books, as it were, that I'm sort of considering. And so if somebody is a subscriber to my sort of subscription model for my courses, that would mean that they would then get all of the new courses as they come out, as well as all of the updates. So whereas if people pay a one-time payment, they get all future updates to the course. Obviously, on a subscription model, the way that would work is, if you stop paying, you lose access. Just like if you're on Netflix and you cancel your subscription, you lose access. So I think there is a balance there. And this is from, as I say, from the student's perspective, giving people those options and flexibility in terms of how they get access to the content, but also for you as the creator in terms of those different dynamics. So I obviously see when I launch a new course, I obviously see a spike in revenue from the launch day or any sale that I've got on, or at other times when I run a special offer, or maybe I go on a show and promote it or something. You see these sort of spikes in revenue, and it's nice to see a spike, but at the same time, it's also very nice to have a consistent recurring revenue, and that is something that comes with a subscription model. So there is something to sort of balance out there. And the pricing of that is something that I continually I'm thinking about in terms of what price I'm going to make my subscription plan versus the one-time payment. The other thing then is, if I switch to a subscription model, do I stop allowing people to just buy them as a one-off? And I've come to the conclusion that I'm actually going to keep both for those people who just don't want to have a commitment to a subscription, but just want one course. Then there's certainly a benefit, I think, to giving people that sort of flexibility. So I'm all for just basically giving people the choice, basically. But obviously, if you buy a $300 course, then another one comes out next week, then that would be an extra payment on top of that, rather than the subscription where you would just get all of them going forward. So those are some little things that I've been thinking about in terms of the pricing. Now, let me just come down and have a little look at some of these. Have a little look. I laugh every time I say that now. Thanks, Rich. So let's have a look, shall we? And let's have a big look at the comments. Michael in the UK. That's why education starts next year. YouTube education. Yeah. The thing about YouTube is there is so much information on there. It is great. It just can be a bit sort of daunting to get what you need sometimes when it's spread out over multiple channels and things like that as well. Hey, Eileen, great to see you here as well. And Todd, Mr. Christmas Clatter, Mr. Christmas himself. We've got to get our Christmas tree up soon. The kids are pestering me for it. Hey, Elo, great to see you. One of my affiliates, I should say, as well. And I mentioned affiliate programs earlier. It's so lovely when I see that somebody is referred and they've got an affiliate commission due to them for having referred someone to the course. And I talked about that earlier. It's a way to expand your reach beyond your own subscriber base, or whatever it happens to be, your own contact base, because you can get people that are then sharing it out for you, and it's a great way to sort of promote your courses. So thanks Elo for sharing. Let's come down here. Hey, Miss OBC Branding, she was on the podcast. Michelle Lawrence was on the podcast, recorded last when was it? I've lost track of days. Earlier this week, but the recording of that will be released in the week after next, and you'll also find it on the YouTube channel. How do you use earbuds in Rodecaster Pro connecting with a mini jack? Yeah, you just plug them into the headphone socket. So you just use the adapter and plug them in. So you just get one of those. One of these things. One of these little adapters. And then you can just plug in regular headphones into the Rodecaster. Thank you very much, Knitter Technologies. Great to see you here, and thanks for stopping by the podcast. I've done 5 podcast recordings this week, 4 of my own, and then also one with my lovely group, the Creators Pod. So we've got another channel, the Creators Pod, which is all about our little journeys as a group of content creators, and we have a weekly a weekly mastermind session that we now do basically live as a podcast. So we recorded that one yesterday or the day before as well. So I've got podcasts on the mind, so I keep forgetting to say live stream. But welcome anyway. Great to see you here. Glad you're finding the information useful. If anybody's got any questions about Kajabi or anything like that, I'll talk through in a moment, just how easy it is to create these things, because I've said that, some people are daunted by the platform. So I'll give a quick run through of how to do things in Kajabi a bit later. But if anybody's got any specific questions, then do let me know about that. Hey, Andrew, great to see you as well. I was on another thing I was on earlier this week. I was on Leaders Live with Andrew over on LinkedIn on, when was that? Tuesday, my time. Monday, I can't remember now. It was one day this week, though. So I was on that as well. That was a great fun show, talking all about Zoom. And I mean, that was another opportunity to talk about the Zoom Masterclass as well. So, going out and promoting your courses wherever you've made them, but going out and promoting them on other channels is also a great way to sort of get that extra exposure for your courses and whatever you're talking about. Glad about the Masterclass. You'll have to let me know how you get on with it and your feedback there. So where do we go from here? Let me have a look. Let's have a look then. And I didn't say a little look. Thank you very much, Vicky. Great to see you here on the live. I've seen your comments before as well on my channel, so I do appreciate the feedback. I always really love getting comments, and this was one thing. Actually, speaking of the devil, speaking of Andrew, when he was on my my podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about making somebody's day, because actually the other side of it is it will also make your day in return. And it's so true that when you get a comment from somebody that has said this has really helped me and I've really found this useful, it really does make my day every time. So thanks a lot for saying that, Vicky. I'm really glad that you've found them useful. So thanks, Dina, for dropping the Creators Pod link there in the chat as well. So let's have a look at the interface for Kajabi just a little bit. I did do a whole video on Kajabi earlier, so I won't go and do a full sort of overview of it, but I will just show you quite how easy it is to create a course in Kajabi. And as I say, you can do these in multiple different formats, like a pre-recorded course or a more of a cohort course where people are going to come along to specific sessions. So we'll have a look at how to do both of those. So I'm here in Kajabi. This is the sort of demo Kajabi that I've got. So there's a load of things in here. This is one where I've done, I think probably from the last video I did on YouTube about it, but basically, the way Kajabi works is it's split into a number of different sections. First is your products. That is going to be your courses, maybe your coaching programs. Also, you can host your podcast. I currently host my podcast on Kajabi. I'll be moving it over to Captivate when I eventually get around to it. This is where you can sort of create all of these things. So in here, I've just got a couple of dummy things like an online course and a coaching program. So those are essentially your products. The next thing then you've got is this sales section. And I always think this is something that may be a tad confusing to people. Hopefully not too much, but a tad confusing, because you've got your products, which are your courses, but then your offers sit in between the courses and actually your marketing. So you would think that when you create your sales funnels, you'd think that you would be pointing people to your products, but you don't. You actually point them to your offers, because your offer may consist of multiple products. So for example, I've got my Ecamm Live Masterclass and I've got my Zoom Masterclass. Those are two separate products. However, the offer that I always run is that if you buy the Zoom course, you also get the Ecamm course, because I want people to, Zoom without Ecamm is pointless in my mind. So offering the two of those together makes perfect sense. So you create these offers, which is, as I say, it's just a way of saying, you're going to get X, Y, and Z, and this is the price for it. You may also have different offers at different times. So you may have a run up to launch where you're offering at a certain price, and then after you've launched, maybe it moves to a separate price. So that would be two separate offers, but for the same product. So I hope that sort of makes sense. But I think that sometimes people just get a little bit confused by that when they first look at it. So offers is where you're going to, as I say, create those different offers. You also have the ability to create coupon codes. So those are great ways to drive sales. I always do launch offers for my things. So the Rodecaster Pro 2 Masterclass, which is just down here, rodecastermasterclass.com. That one, I had a 25% off launch offer. It's a great way to drive initial sales, but that finished at the end of October. So having these ability to run these offers at different times of the year is certainly helps. But it's really easy to create coupon codes in here as well. You've then got payments. That's just basically payments through for the courses, so we don't need to look at that one. But this one here, this affiliate section, this is the one that I think is a really powerful feature of Kajabi, and it's really easy to set up as well, which is crucial. I found that setting up affiliate programs in ClickFunnels was just it's funny, really. It's called ClickFunnels, and that's kind of what it felt like. It felt like I've got to click on a lot of things before it actually does what I want it to do. And that's not what the name's supposed to mean, but that's kind of what it meant to me. I was constantly clicking to do multiple different things. Whereas here, it's really easy to set up an affiliate program. The way that it looks, perhaps I could just go to my website, and if I go to my affiliate section, open that one, the way that it looks for the user is where if I go to my sign up program, sign up. So if you want to become a Take One Tech affiliate and start earning 30% commission on all of my courses from your referrals to all of my courses, then you just go and hit that affiliate button up at the top there. And then you just enter your name, email address, create a password, and enter your PayPal email. And that's it. That's how easy it is to become a Take One Tech affiliate. You can then be sharing the, $187 Rodecaster course, the $147 Ecamm course, the $497 Zoom course. So if you know someone who needs to level up on Zoom, or maybe they've got a Rodecaster or whatever it is, then send them a link to my course, and you'll get a 30% commission. And I basically just have that so that at the end of every month, commissions are paid out on the 20th of the following month. So any commissions earned in October are paid out on the 20th of November. Did I say that right? Any commissions in October are paid out in 20th of November. But it's really simple to set that up. You can see it's a very simple page. But then once somebody logs in, they'll just see a list of links to all of the courses. In fact, probably I should just show you what that looks like. I think I come into here. If I go to where here, I'll just show you what it looks like from the user's point of view. Because doing this for your course is just a no-brainer. If you've got anything on Kajabi, giving other people the ability to share it out and get paid for the referrals is just a no-brainer. So as the affiliate, when you log in, you basically just see, here's the 3 courses, and there's the affiliate link. Just copy the link, send that out to someone, and then that's it. It's all tracked on my side. One of the things about this, if you're going to run an affiliate program, is there's something that they call the I've forgotten the name of it now. It's not the cookie length, but it's basically how long after somebody clicks your link do you get attributed for that commission. So if somebody clicks on, let's say I just shared this link out, somebody clicks on it, and then they click the link, they go and look at it, and they think, oh, that's great. And then not ready to buy, but they go back like 5 years later. Do I still get the commission then? And so that's based on, how long does it keep the cookie to know where that referral has come from? The limit that you can put on this in the maximum, because I think that you should give people, if somebody sent somebody to my website, I want to give them the maximum possible opportunity to actually get the commission from that. The maximum that you can set that to in Kajabi is 90 days. So the default is 30 days, which means that basically if you send your referral link to somebody and they click on the link and then they buy within 30 days, then you get the commission. Well, I've actually extended that to the maximum, which is 90, because I want to make sure that people do get that. So if you are setting up a affiliate program for your program, for your course, I would recommend giving people the benefit as long as you possibly can. So I hope that you feel that way too. And so that would just be done in the settings. You can set the cookie length there for the affiliate program. But yeah, so I digress slightly. That is how easy it is to set that up. Let me come back to, where was I now? This one, wasn't it? Not that one. This one. Hang on a minute. Let me find the page that I was on. Maybe I've come out of it. Where has it gone there? It was in the offers. Yeah, we were in that one. I beg your pardon. So yes, let me come back to that scene for a second. I just realized I've still got some comment up there. So yeah, this is where you can, as I say, activate the affiliates and go and check the affiliates, grant offers and things like that. Then it has a whole sort of website section, which is where you can build your website. It's really easy to do this. If I just come in and I'll just show you what the editor's like, it's pretty similar to a lot of these website editors that you've got on online. It's going to obviously be really slow, because it always is when you decide that you're going to do a demo. So of course it will be really slow. Let me just customize this. In fact, when you look at, so this is just a blank template. This is the stock one that comes built in. When you see this, you'll probably notice that it looks strikingly similar to my actual website, because I did just use one of the templates and I just changed, some of the colors, added in my own images and things like that. But basically, it's the stock one. So, but this is what the editor looks like. You've just got different sections down here, down the left-hand side. So this part here is called the sort of hero banner. At the top, that's what they call those. 3 feature column. So here you can see feature 1, 2, and 3. Then if I scroll down a little bit, here we've got a text and image block. Another text and image block below that. But what you can do is, it's easy to just sort of drag and drop those. So maybe I want to move that one up there. So I've just now put the text block above that one. Just all drag and drop sort of stuff. If I want to change the text in this box, just click in the box and then go and edit the text. I can edit the formatting, all that kind of thing. So it's really easy to do that. Maybe you want to create a load of stuff and just hide it until you're ready to sort of go live with it. With each of these different blocks, for example, I just come back. Computer's going really slow for some reason, but there you go. You can just sort of hide that block if you want. So if you want to hide the hero block. So I'm not going to go through and do a full tutorial on how to use this. I certainly will be in my masterclass, of course. But it's just really simple. It's just sort of drag and drop. You don't need obviously any coding knowledge or anything like that. Let me come out of there to do this. So it's all pretty straightforward. Then the next section then is the marketing. And I've not actually talked about the products yet, have I? So I'll come back to that, circle back to that. And I'll show you that in terms of the ones that I've got on my site. So you can see how I've built those out. But in the marketing section, that's going to be things like email campaigns. It's really easy to send out, if you've got an email list, then you can send out a bulk email to everyone. You can create a sequence of emails, and it's got templates for all of these as well. So you've got, if I click on new email campaign, for example, either an email broadcast, which is just a single email, or an email sequence. If I click on email sequence, I can create that. We'll look at this in terms of a specific funnel though, actually, because that's more useful. But yeah, it's really good for just sort of email marketing, basically. You can segment your audience based on, products they've bought or things they've done. So you can use tags and all sorts of advanced sort of automation techniques to make sure that people are getting the emails that you want them to see. So maybe somebody's done a particular course and you want to cross promote to something else or some other product or whatever. You can do all of that in here as well. So really versatile email marketing system that you've got in here. I mentioned before about funnels, so I will just touch on funnels again. Like I say, I don't want to go through and do a full tutorial on this, but if you come into the funnel section, I'll just demonstrate one of these because it's quite useful to see the way that this sort of builds everything out for you. So if I come into here, this is painfully slow for something is chewing up my processor. So if I say, let's say a product launch. So I'll click on this one, get started. I'll give it a name. Like this. There it is. Let me just figure out something. Tell you what I'll do. I'll come out from there. I think I might have already prepared one of these earlier. Let me just come out from this second. See what is doing up the process. I'll take this one instead. This is just a little demo thing where it's basically, I'll show you what it does. Is it creates basically the whole sort of flow of the funnel for you. So you can see here we've got, like, this was an example with an opt-in form. Then there's 3 videos giving some sort of value to the people who are coming to it. And then you've got like the checkout page. So this was a way of doing like some sort of launch of something where it's got all the different steps in. So as I say, I have covered this. I'll actually link to the full video I did specifically about Kajabi, where I went into all this in detail. I'll leave that in the description, actually, save going through that, because something weird's going on here. It doesn't like me demoing this. But basically, the point is that it gives you this really good sort of framework where you just go and basically drop in the content. So you don't need to be an expert in sales funnels to make something that looks really professional and has, crucially, the right information in the right places, because it does sort of guide you through all of that. I'll just say a quick hi to Rob and Glenda. Hey, great to see you here. So that is the funnel side. There's a huge amount of automation you can do. So there's a whole automation section in here, and that allows you to do things like, if people sign up to a particular course, then send them some information. Or if they sign up for a free download, maybe you want to put them into an email sequence to, give them some other information, or maybe they sign up for a newsletter. Lots of different automations you can do here. Really, really deep integration. So yeah, just almost too much that you can do to explain it all in here. But anyway, that is one thing as an automation geek I really love about Kajabi. And then we've got events and forms. I won't bother going into those specifically right now, but let's go to have a look at the products, because this is where you can create your courses or your coaching programs. And it's as simple as just clicking on the new product. Let me close some of these other things down. Just one second. Let me come out from here for a second. And I'll switch over from here and just try and close some of this down. There's something that is just taking a load of a processor. Do is here. Take that down. This is the one I want. Okay, so here what I want to show is just the fact that we can, when it's come up, here you can create either a course, a coaching program, a podcast, or a community. And what I would do is, yes, so hey Doc, great to see you here. This was partly inspired by you and other people that I've been speaking to recently. But yes, you should definitely make a course in Kajabi, and I'm doing as well. So I've already talked about that. My Kajabi Masterclass is coming. So here, if you create your course here, and so Doc is somebody who's just recently launched a cohort-based course where it's something that's happening in the future. But let's look now, though, at, for example, the Rodecaster Masterclass. The way that this looks in Kajabi from my point of view, obviously, if you go to it, it looks something like this, where you see all of these different sections, you see all the different videos, so the different categories, rather, I should say, and then all the different videos. From my side, though, when I'm sort of creating that, I've basically just got a series of folders, which are the actual sections. So we've got that, setting up the mixer, connecting devices, all of those kind of things, advanced audio processing. So if I open that one up, then we've just got down here a list of videos. And so it shows you all of the different things that are in there. Now, for each of these, it's just easy to click on here, add a new lesson or whatever it happens to be. But from in here, all you are going to do is, if I click into one of these things, you're basically just adding a title, you're uploading the video, or it could also be audio, or just an image, or it could be just a purely text lesson. So you might have it that as you're going through the process, you've got a series of videos, maybe there's an audio one, maybe there is just something that's purely some information in text. You can have those as part of the sort of flow. You also have the ability to upload files. So if you want any downloads associated with the video, then you can do that, and just easily have them so that they're there as people are going through the content in the right places. You can also add in automations here. Now, this is, again, coming back to this thing, if you're going through a process where you're teaching people things, and then maybe there is a natural branch off into another course, for example, you might want to have it that when they get up to the point of, needing that, then you've got an automation to send them a coupon code, for example, for a course, or maybe it's just sending them through to somebody else. You can add all of that in with automation. But the interface is really simple. Thumbnail, just drag and drop a thumbnail, upload the video, enter the text. It's so easy to make these courses, and the actual look of this course, this one here, the way that this looks in terms of the colors and the thumbnails and things like that, I only just went and did a little bit of tweaking to the built-in template, and then all of these look the same. And so I'm not having to go through and design every single page or anything like that. I've got the template now, and then I can just go in and add in more details. So in this case, I could just go in and just literally be adding in more content to all of these things. It looks very similar if you're doing a cohort-based course as well. If you in terms of where you're doing one, in having some sort of one-to-one time, you can also add in this kind of stuff as well, so that you've got the sort of support information to go along with it. But I just find it really, I find it really simple to use, to be honest. Really easy to sort of build these things out. Like I say, I did do a whole video where I went through all of these different steps and all the different steps of Kajabi in a bit more detail than I'm doing today. So I don't want to just go and basically duplicate that. But I will just say, though, that as I've said, it is a great way to add a revenue source to what you're doing as a content creator. And it's also a great way to get your information out to people in a way that they can then digest. There is also an app for Kajabi. So if people are on your course, they can actually just access all of the course content on the iPad app or the iPhone app, whatever it is. Probably iPad might be a bit better, bit of a larger screen, depending on what you're doing. But it gives them that ability then as well to have it all in sort of one self-contained little space there as well. So I do highly recommend that. So once again, if you're interested in my free Kajabi Masterclass, for anybody who signs up to the Kajabi with my link, you can head over to takeonetech.io/Kajabi. There you can register your interest for that. So that will be a cohort-based course, as I say. So you can register your interest for that. I will have a price, by the way, for that as well, for anyone who's not using my Kajabi link. Maybe you've already got Kajabi. I do want to make it available to people as well. Yeah, it works out really nicely with the Kajabi affiliate program, that if you sign up using my link, I can actually just waive any fee for the course because of that sort of recurring affiliate revenue. So yeah, if anyone has got any questions though about course content creation or anything like that, or any maybe things that are holding you back from doing it, then I'm happy to answer any of those kind of questions. That is so true. So Glenda says it right there. That's all you need to know. If you're going to create a course, Kajabi has everything for you. And that is what I was talking about earlier about, yes, it's $200 a month or whatever. Well, actually, there's a lower level plan than that as well. I think that with the lower level plan, you maybe don't get the affiliate section. I'm not sure, might be wrong about that. But you're also limited then on the number of courses. So I think you've got the maximum of 3 there. But it's actually, there's, if you've only got one course to put out, the lower tier is great. So that's even more affordable then. But yeah, it is that thing for me, Glenda, as well, that it has got everything. It's your website, it's your email marketing, it's your sales funnels, it's your course hosting, it's your video hosting as well, which is a big one that I think a lot of people overlook. And it's just there all in one place. If you want some sort of one-to-one help with this, by the way, then I am available for consultations as well. So that is part of the reason for this video today, really, is that a number of my coaching clients in the last couple of weeks have been talking about launching their own courses as well. And so, yeah, it's something that I can certainly help with. So if you're interested in having a chat about that specifically for your niche, your use case, then do feel free to reach out there to me as well. If there are no further questions, though, or no questions about creating courses, then I will be talking about this a lot more in the coming weeks because it's something I'm really passionate about, and helping other people make their money for their content through online courses. But if there are no further questions, then I shall leave it there. But what I'll do is, for anybody watching on the replay, I'll leave a link to some of my Kajabi videos over on the right-hand side. I do just want to say a big thank you to all of the lovely people whose names are coming up on screen right now. These are my channel members. I really appreciate your ongoing support. So thank you to all of you lovely people.